together. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. I'm Reverend Stephen, your minister. Thank you for joining us this morning as we gather virtually once again, a spiritual community that seeks to be diverse and inclusive as we inspire love, work for justice, and grow together in community. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our guest minister this morning, my friend and colleague, the Reverend Dr. Kate Walker, who serves the Mount Vernon Unitarian Church in Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome, Kate. And once again, welcome. Now, as we prepare for our worship time together, let us take a moment to breathe, to invite the very spirit that is life and love to be present among us, and to open our hearts and minds to a call to build a beloved community here among us and out in the world.
Here we are, traveling on this road together. With loving hearts opening, moving from one moment to another. Won't you come and join me by the window? Won't you come and sit by my side? We'll enjoy the beauty that is passing. Let's build a fire through the night. Here we are, traveling on this road together. Here we are, traveling on this road together. With loving hearts opening, moving from one moment to another. Won't you come and join me by the window? Won't you come and sit by my side? We'll enjoy the beauty that is passing. Let's build a fire through the night. Here we are, traveling on this road together.
Thank you, Hal. I'm just going to put this out front. I have been lost, and I have a great sense of direction. But while on a college adventure in Venice, Italy, I and two intrepid friends got turned around as soon as we stepped out of the train station. We kept seeing turns we thought we needed, but couldn't get to them. We found ourselves on a bridge leading to yet another long and narrow street that changed its name 4 times in 2 blocks. After a lot of frustration, I humbly accepted even a professional cartographer was going to get lost. Venice is just too confusing with its canals and its bridges and its old geography. To paraphrase Yogi Berra, we were lost. Oh, but we were making good time. My friends and I decided to rely on faith that the hostel we needed would magically appear as we wandered those twisted stone streets of Venice. Lugging our backpacks, we found some lovely sights, just not the hostel we were seeking. Life has often been compared to a journey, as we balance the joy of wandering with the joy of arriving at our destination. In these high-stress days, we may find ourselves getting lost as we cope with this pandemic and family and school and jobs and politics and climate change. There are any number of other confusing pathways and decisions. Yet we don't usually take the time to reflect on what happens when we get lost on our journey, whether we're completely lost or just a little confused. So today, I'm asking, how does our Unitarian Universalist faith help when the path forward is obscured? What if we realize we're completely on the wrong path? What if we realize we're not on a path at all and we've lost the road, wandered into unfamiliar space? We may find ourselves exhausted, confused, frustrated, and isolated. So how does your Unitarian Universalist faith help when during our life's journey, the joy of discovery turns into confusion and stress? How can our UU faith provide points of orientation or serve as road signs in the fog? Or perhaps in today's topic, we will affirm that your current path is exactly the right one for you.
We join Unitarian Universalists across the country in lighting a chalice, a sign of life's beauty and wonder, a symbol of peace and hope, an invitation to continue our ongoing search for the light of truth within us and among us, and a reminder that we are all interconnected in the great web of existence, of which we are each a beloved part. As I light our shared chalice, I invite you to light your home chalice. Would you join me now in the words of our covenant, which have been adapted from James Villa Blake? Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, to help one another, and to bring about the beloved community. In the spirit of universalism, where the joys and sorrows of who we really are, we take time to call to mind the joys and sorrows that come with living, to hold one another in the spirit of care and compassion, to turn inward for a few moments to connect with the love that is the very heart of life itself, and to reflect on the mysteries of life. I invite you now to use the chat box to share your joys and sorrows with us this morning. Jim Scott shares that his friend John passed away last Sunday evening. We send our sympathy and care, Jim. Lori is thinking of people in Texas suffering without heat and water. We hold them in our hearts. The Gillig asks for thoughts for Sonara. Deborah Lynn Hook is grateful for the sweet, sweet junior UUers who sent her a surprise virtual card and said, "I love you," after I had a medical procedure. Ann Andrews says, "I am happy to be taking senior guest classes at KSU." Enjoy, Ann. Carolyn Schlemmer shares that her sister and brother-in-law's friend, Dan Camborn, died last night of COVID. He was an Akron teacher. Michelle Boris says, "The wonderful Kent Hogwarts session we had last weekend, our kids are thoughtful, kind, caring, and loving. I am so proud of them. I'm proud of them too. They're a great bunch." As Regulus says, thankful for Zoom and a connection to old friends far away and missing MJ. We're thinking of you as you honor and remember MJ's life, Liz. David asks prayers for my fiance's friend, Kate, whose daughter is being tested for spina bifida. Elizabeth Swango says, I am happy that a family member has reached out to me after several years. Emily Burnell Petru says, happy to join my hometown folks all the way from Germany. Glad to have you with us, Emily. Katie Grigg Miller joyfully reports, Hobbs Hall is 70% complete. It's coming right along.
Which way, I don't know. Oh no, I don't know. Which way, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. Oh no. Oh no, no, I don't know. How long to that road? Oh no, I don't know. How long to that road? I don't know which way to go. Oh no. Oh no, no, I don't know. Who knows, who knows? I don't know which way to go. Which road, which road? Which way, I don't know. How long, how long? I'm lost and I don't know which road, which road. How am I gonna get home? Which way, I don't know. Oh no, I don't know. Which way, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. Oh no. Oh no, I don't know. How am I gonna find my home? Oh no, I don't know. How am I gonna find my home? I don't know which way to go. Oh no. Oh no, no, I don't know. Who knows, who knows? I don't know which way to go. Which road, which road? Which way, I don't know. How long, how long? I'm lost and I don't know which road, which road. How am I gonna get home? Which way, I don't know. Oh no, I don't know. Which way, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. Oh no. Oh no, no, I don't know.
I'm hoping that some of you, all right, all of you, I'm calling all of you in to help me with this story. You'll need to put down your cup of coffee or your Game Boy or phone. All right, so we do a ritual at my church sometimes, and maybe you've done it as well, about our faith. This is that Unitarian Universalism is the faith with the open mind, the warm heart, helping hands, taking care of the earth and each other. All right, we'll do it one more time. We are the church of the open mind, warm hearts, helping hands, taking care of the earth and each other. All right, we'll do that again during the story. I'll cue you. There are two sisters, Tracy and Teresa. They had heard about a park they'd never been to. It was supposed to be a fabulous park. It had a beautiful lake where they could feed the fish and paddle in the paddle boats and climb trees just for kids. They really wanted to go to this park. Hey, Mom, they said, can we go to the park? Sure, said Mom. And then Tracy and Teresa said, oh, let's bring some food. We'll have a picnic. So they got their picnic basket, all right, and they're going to fill it with lots of food. What kind of food? Well, for me, egg salad. Always got to have egg salad and some potato chips, cookies, and some grapes and lemonade. That basket is full. So they went downstairs of their apartment building, stepped out onto the street, and Tracy and Teresa looked at each other and said, we don't know where the park is. Oh, hey, let's call Sam and Susie. They live right upstairs. Maybe they know. Hey, Sam and Susie, we're trying to find a park. Can you help us? The park has a beautiful lake where you can feed the fish. We'll go on the paddle boats and climb the trees just for kids. Sam and Susie said, sure, we've heard about that park. We heard it was just down the street, over the hill, and around the corner. Oh, great. Hey, come with us. Pack a picnic basket and we'll all go together. Sam and Susie were downstairs in no time at all. They set off down the street, went over the hill and around the corner. There was no park. They looked. It was a store. They looked closer. It was a pet store. Oh, look at the puppies and the kittens, and the rabbits and all the little lizards and the fish, and they were just had their face looking at all the fun stuff. But then Tracy stepped back and said, my legs are tired from walking. My arms are tired from carrying the picnic basket, and my tummy is grumbling and rumbling. I'm hungry and I want that egg salad and the lemonade and the potato chips. And I think we're lost, and I think we need help. As soon as she thought about the word help, she remembered something very important that she knew and been learning at her Unitarian Universalist church. She remembered that was the church of, everybody ready? Of the open minds, of the loving heart, and the helping hands, taking care of the earth and each other. And then she felt better. And she said, hey, Teresa, our church is the church of the open minds, loving hearts, helping hands, taking care of the earth and each other. I feel so much better. And Teresa said, I do too. We do need help. And okay. And it was just at that moment that the door to the pet store opened up and out walked Annie carrying a bag. Annie, they knew Annie from church. How wonderful. Annie said, Teresa, Tracy, wonderful to see you. What are you doing in our neighborhood? And they said, well, we're looking for a park. It's a beautiful lake. You can feed the fish, go on the paddle boats and climb the trees just for kids. These are our friends, Sammy and Susie. Do you know where the park is? Annie said, of course I do. I'm going there right now to feed the fish. I just bought some food. She said, it's just around the corner. And they all looked at each other and said, well, we've heard that before, but okay, come on, Annie. So they went down the street and around the corner. It was a different corner. Tracy and Teresa looked at each other and said, a different corner. Oh, Sammy and Susie said, there are different hills. And Annie said, yeah, there's different streets. There you have choices. And they all thought we should have asked for better directions, knowing which street, which hill, which corner. And that was when they saw the park right in front of them with the beautiful water. They fed the fish, they went on the paddle boats, and they climbed the trees just for kids. And they opened up their picnic baskets, and Annie ate too, the egg salad, and they had grapes and lemonade, and they had a great day. And then Annie and Tracy and Teresa, they taught Sam and Susie about their church. They said, hey, our church is the open mind and the loving heart and the helping hands. We take care of the earth and each other. Maybe you should come to church with us someday. And they weren't lost again as long as they remembered to ask for directions. I hope you enjoy that.
Our readings by Jeffrey A. Lockwood. A voice screeched gate assignments through a nerve-jangling public address system. Even if the announcements had been in English, I doubt that I had been able to make sense of them. But whatever was being broadcast to the cavernous waiting area of the Moscow airport prompted mobs of people to head toward the buses that shuttled passengers to the planes. I grew panicky as I realized there was no chance of figuring out which announcement concerned my flight. Staring desperately at my boarding pass, I realized that all I had to do was find a Russian with a matching flight number and follow him. To my right was a morose old fellow whose pass was tucked into the pocket of his threadbare suit coat. To my left was Salvation. A pretty teenager had her boarding pass stuck in the book she was reading, and the first 2 digits of her flight number were the same as mine. Hoping to see the numbers hidden by the edge of the page, I carefully leaned over. Sensing my movement, she turned to look at me. I pointed hopefully at my boarding pass and then at hers. To my relief, she immediately understood. But we'd attracted the attention of her parents and younger brother. When she explained my situation, her mother smiled warmly and launched into what I took to be an offer to help. I nodded, correctly guessing that I'd been temporarily adopted. When our flight was announced, the mother leapt to her feet and grasped me by the elbow. She ushered me toward the gate, shouting directions to the others, as the boy grabbed my backpack and the girl and her father hauled the rest of my luggage. The mother pushed through the crowd, returning scowls with her own glare and dragging me along until we'd boarded the bus. Once at the plane, I thanked her profusely using one of the few Russian words I knew. She seemed to thank me in return, but why would she be grateful? One of the great help from others, to be genuinely needful of strangers. Our illusion of self-reliance evaporates as the unexpected and the unfamiliar merge into vulnerability. We offer the gift of authentic need, the opportunity for deep trust. We express to another person the most humanizing, cross-cultural phrase, please help me. Would you join now in singing our hymn of affirmation, Where Do We Come From?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are are we? Where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Where are we going? Where are we come? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come? What are we? Where are we going?
Thank you, Hal, my cousin by name. You are amazing. And thank you, Kent people, for inviting me into your space this morning. By way of introduction, I have been a Unitarian Universalist all my life. I'm a double preacher's kid, you. Yet when I was a young adult, I was not grounded in my beloved faith during that important life transition. That's when I discovered a painful lesson and how much I needed my faith. Upon graduating from college, I launched into a new job as a budding journalist, and I was clear, so I thought, about my path as a journalist. But then back-to-back events shook me to my core, and I realized I was lost. Within months of graduating, my 2 dogs died, my cat died, and then my father died. I was lost in a wilderness of grief, no point of orientation to guide me. My stepmother, Marlene, was bearing witness, and she convinced me that I should be a youth advisor at the local Unitarian Universalist church. And it was with the youth that I found my faith again and my UU community in the midst of their glorious adolescent chaotic energy with its over-the-top enthusiasm and a laughter I will never forget. I found myself again, and I found myself grounded in my Unitarian Universalist practice. Within 2 years, I left the path of journalism. It was not right for me. I was on the wrong path. I began a new path, that which with time and some few more wrong turns led to ministry. But it was the youth with their belief in a creative, life-sustaining energy who kept shining in my heart. They helped me to reorient to my Unitarian Universalist liberal faith. It's so important to have points of orientation in life when we're lost, whether they be people or rituals, beliefs, and values that help guide us when life takes twists and turns and confounding us so we don't know which way we're going. I firmly believe that our religious home should serve as a primary point of orientation. As Unitarian Universalists, we have weekly and annual rituals that embody our values and our beliefs, such as the chalice lighting, the joys and sorrows, annual celebrations like the flower communion and water gathering, or what some call the water communion. These rituals, well, frankly, they lack a certain theological depth because we're still a relatively new faith by most standards. Yet they are infused with a social ethic that inspires and transcends. They remind us of our values of service, community, and diversity. They hold us to our commitment to reason, to love, and compassion. And they invite us into a mature faith that can fully embrace the joys and the sorrows of life. We are called to engage in these rituals with an ethic of care and responsibility to create a world of radical hospitality. Now, there are other Unitarian Universalist worship rituals that form a bond across our churches and across the country. More importantly, they serve as points of orientation. Your church in Kent uses the same closing words to extinguish the chalice as my church in Virginia and many other UU churches. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth. These words echo across the country every Sunday. I also like that we have covenants in a lot of UU churches. Many of us use the same words. That variance of love is the teaching of this church. The quest of truth is its daily task, and service is its prayer. It's based on reading the back of the gray hymnal. I heard it today as your covenant in the chalice lighting. Even when we're lost or confused, these words, these rituals act as beacons, calling us back to our spiritual home. They serve as a theological grounding on our journeys, and they're brightly lit signposts in spiritual fog. Outside of worship rituals, there are other places in our Unitarian Universalist faith that help when we're lost. Certainly, our 7 principles or points of orientation. So to illustrate, I'm going to pick on Pittsburgh because just like Venice, Italy, I've been lost in Pittsburgh. And as neighbors to Pittsburgh, I thought you might be able to relate. Before I lived in my current home in Virginia, I lived in Meadville, where I served the church up there, just 90 miles north of Pittsburgh. And upon arrival in Meadville back in 1998, I was warned by multiple people, if you go to Pittsburgh, don't miss your exit. I laughed. I did. I laughed. I'm a fool. I have a great sense of direction, I said. I'll be fine. They looked at me with deepening concern and repeated their warning. Don't miss your exit. Your destination will be over there, and you will be over here with no way to get over there. Let's just say I missed my exit on my very first visit. And this was before GPS. So with a paper map in the passenger seat, I figured I was fine. I didn't worry too much. Oh, but the pain of truth. I missed my exit more than once. Truth hurts more than once. I needed help. And as I got increasingly frustrated, anger and anxiety rising, I could hear my mother's voice reminding me to be patient with myself and to believe in myself. I breathed. And I saw the internal road sign that my mother was pointing at. I have inherent worth and dignity. We often think of our first Unitarian Universalist principle, the inherent worth and dignity of all people, as being about how we treat others. But it's also about how we treat ourselves. If we believe we have inherent worth and dignity, it's much easier to get grounded when we're stressed. If we believe in ourselves, we can solve problems and find our inner strength to get us through confusing and turbulent parts of our journey. On another trip to Pittsburgh, I found a little bit of life's magic that I believe lives within our 7th principle, the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. I was driving south from Meadville on I-79, but I stopped at a rest stop to consult my map. I was headed to a specialty tea shop that half my church knew I loved tea, so they were all insisting I had to visit it. And as I pulled into the parking lot of the rest stop, there was a member of my church in a beautiful display of coexistence. And he was able to give me exact direction to the tea shop, right to the front door. I think the 7th principle is a powerful reminder to ask for directions. We need one another. In fact, we're really quite dependent upon each other. So asking for directions now and then, that seems quite inevitable and downright gorgeous in a mutual relationship of coexistence. And as we heard in the reading by Jeffrey Lockwood, asking for directions is a way to say, I'm vulnerable. We're in this together and I need your assistance. Even on its surface, this is a stunning admission of mutuality and trust. And for many Unitarian Universalists, this is a growth area. We may need to strengthen our willingness to be vulnerable with one another. We may need to shift outside our comfortable, privileged journey and ask for directions from those who are suffering and in pain, particularly those who have been systematically marginalized and oppressed. We can't just keep driving right past them. We need to stop and pause and bear witness. So many of our fellow travelers have painful truths about the many barriers on their journeys. From the depths of their heart, they may, if willing, offer powerful points of orientation toward compassion, love, and resilience. And frankly, too many white people like myself may discover in the act of humility that the well-traveled road has been paved in privileged gold. Now, I also have to name something that you're probably already thinking. There's a lot to be said for wandering off the well-known path where we can discover unexpected joy and wonder. Well, this is how I really discovered Venice's incredible food, the hidden corners of art, and oddly, large piles of feral cats warming themselves on heating vents. It was fascinating. And again, like Venice, I soon came to love the myriad of bridges and confusing avenues of Pittsburgh. They invited me to discover and explore their rich character and those unique neighborhoods. Yet intentionally getting lost requires a certain courage and a comfort, a privileged comfort. In order to find the joy in being lost, we have to have confidence that a warm bed and food are waiting for us, and a strong faith in our resilience and our capacity to cope with the disorientation if we shift direction. When I chose to change my career in my 20s, I knew I had family and resources to support me. I didn't worry about being homeless or going without a meal. I didn't have barriers to a new job. I also had my Unitarian Universalist faith. It was guiding me and shining bright in my dim and unknown future. What I find particularly interesting in my ongoing metaphor about getting lost on the journey of life, unintentionally or not, is none of these UU points of orientation, the weekly and annual rituals and the principles, nor the covenant, none of these existed when I was growing up as a Unitarian Universalist, none of them. They were all organically put up like signposts in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Other than joys and sorrows, which is adapted, our rituals, a lot of them are unique to our faith. They emerge out of a place within our faith over a long period of time, from historical roots that are based on what I call eternal truths. Points of orientation can change, but there are some truths that lie embedded on the journey that with time become more vivid, stronger, and connected to the daily struggles of our lives. These truths become more than signposts. They become the ground upon which we actually travel. They are bigger than our UU rituals and words. If we live with intention of honoring our worth and dignity, and the worth and dignity of all people, then we are more likely to choose the path of love and compassion. I claim this as an eternal truth. If the ground itself, the earth, the water, the rock upon which we live is sacred, and we stay connected to the sacredness, then we are far more likely to forge a life-giving and life-sustaining journey. I claim this as an eternal truth. And I found another eternal truth in Venice, back when we were lost. And it was the magic of the interconnected web of community. As my two friends and I relied on faith that night, we followed yet another canal, seeking our hostel, night creeping in, carrying our backpacks. And we looked up in the midst of our lostness, and we found friends. We actually found friends. We found friends on the other side of a canal. In a lovely pattern of delight and surprise, we called out to each other, Kate, Kim, Sarah. It was just extraordinary. We had no idea that this group of intrepid college travelers were there in Venice on holiday and that we would run into each other. Yet in an interconnected web, we found each other despite being lost. They had been in Venice several days and were able to guide us to our hostel with our beds waiting for our tired bodies. That's another eternal truth that I claim. One never knows when a friend is going to show up in this interconnected web of existence. 3 eternal truths I offer you, signposts that I believe are found within our Unitarian Universalist faith. Inherent worth and dignity leads to love and compassion. Life is sacred and magic happens. So I'm asking you, my beloved fellow Unitarian Universalists and guests, when you are lost, intentionally or not, how does your Unitarian Universalist faith orient you back to living your life in fullness? And here's a bonus question. What does it take for you to ask for directions? Because your UU community and friends are closer than you think. May it be so. Amen and blessed be. I invite you now into a time of some silence and reflection.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. In spite of the need to be apart physically, we are strong and thriving as a community and able to be together virtually for worship, for community, for shared ministry, at times for offering each other directions, for community, because of the gifts of money, time, and care each of you so generously give. Thank you. To help others in our community thrive, we also give to agencies and organizations in Kent and beyond that serve those in need. February's special offering is for the Southern Poverty Law Center. This center is internationally known for its tolerance education programs, its legal victories against white supremacists, and its tracking of hate groups. So now, in the spirit of gratitude for the gift of one another and this community, and the abundance that makes our generosity possible, we give and receive the offering as a sign of our shared commitment to the life and work of this congregation and beyond. now to bring our time of worship to its close and prepare to return the world, would you join me in our Chalice extinguishing ritual? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. May we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again.
As you go out into, well, it may be your kitchen, or perhaps you step outside today and go for a walk. Go for a journey. Explore. Know where you're going or not. But whatever, know how you were called back to your faith in order to fully live into who you are. Return again with love. Blessed be. So glad to be with you this morning.